Hey everybody, this is Kip from America Bumper to Bumper. Let's see how the live stream goes today. Other than the last time we did, that everything was choppy and bummer. Anyway, thank you guys for everyone for joining, for tuning in after this is gone live. Really appreciate all the support that you guys bring in. I do want to apologize very quickly for last week. Had family that came in, and they were supposed to be in a lot earlier than they actually ended up coming in. And we planned on dinner, and that dinner ended up being during the live stream. So family trumps live stream, so that's why I wasn't here. Thank you guys for the few of you that reached out and checked in to make sure everything was okay with me. I really appreciate you guys doing that as well. And let's see. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about some upcoming shows that I will be going to. We're going to talk where I'm sitting as far as followers and subscribers on all the different things, social medias that I post to. Yeah, brain doesn't want to work. It's been a really rough week this week. My job, we are moving from an older building into a brand new building, and it has been a very intense week. A little bit of overtime and just brain fried. So I don't know what we're gonna get today in tonight's live stream, but we'll hopefully give you something good. So let's see. We're gonna start things out with some news. And we're going to start with Costco. Costco is selling more cars than ever before by offering one key perk. This is from the Business Insider, posted up 2 days ago. So let's see what this key perk is. Costco sold more than 650,000 cars through its auto program in 2018. And that is an increase over 25% over 2017 sales figures. The retailer has a major perk that traditional car dealerships lack: fixed pricing, negotiated by Costco auto program employees. While Costco does not have any money, does not make any money on the auto sales, the retailer is growing the program as a way to attract new members and maintain existing members' interest. Costco is selling more cars than ever before. Let's see what else it says in here. So apparently, the big thing that people really like is fixed prices, not having to worry about negotiations, which has always been, the thing. And I think that was one of the key features of Saturn back when it first came out that really drew a lot of people. Especially, I know my brother owned one of the early Saturn SL1s, I think it was, and they loved the fact that they could go in. Didn't have to negotiate on price. It was that, this price for that car, period. They could go in, buy it, be done. I think a lot more car dealers could get, could do a lot, do well with that sort of thing as well. Let's see. Costco Auto Program said that they plan to offer several promotions and member-only incentives in 2019, as well as grow its employee base to more than 300 workers. Costco Auto Program allows members to research, compare, calculate monthly payments, and get discounts at participating dealerships through the program's website or call center. A representative from the program told Business Insider that the average discount is $1,000 off the vehicle's average transaction price. So that's a pretty good deal. And now we're going to talk through the 25 cars that are almost guaranteed to last you over 250,000 miles. And sorry for the jumbling around, guys. I'm going to move you around so you can actually come over here and see what the 25 cars are. As soon as I do this. Should have thought about doing this beforehand. Sorry, guys. Hey, Grant, thanks for coming in. I used to do 7:30, but I asked one of the last live streams I did what time they thought would be good for everybody. So and most people said 8 o'clock was better, so that's why I am here now. All right, let's get this guy set up. I just got back from a run. I'm drinking a beer. You're shaking. Sorry, man. I actually had a beer earlier as well. All right, we're gonna get you around here. Doug Sweener, thank you for stopping in. Oh, and there you go. Let's see if we can get you a little bit better here. It's a never-ending. Oh, there. I think you guys can see that now. So we're going to go through the 25 cars that are almost guaranteed to last you 250,000 miles. Toyota Prius is one of those 25. Let's see, go back a slide. Nope, that one didn't have it. All right. So we got the Prius. That's, pretty normal. No, I'm not doing a Google Hangouts style live stream. This is straight from Google's site. I wish I could so the share screen function and the control room icon. Yep. No, I just generally do straight from YouTube live stream, and if I can, I'm trying to work on some people to come in and kind of guest host with me, and at that point, as long as Google Hangouts is still up, we'll do it that way. All right, next up in our list of 25 cars that are almost guaranteed to last you 250,000 miles, Subaru Forester. Now, what I can tell you about Subaru Forester, or even any Subaru, is as long as you maintain them, yes, you can get 250,000 miles out of them. Well, when you set up your live stream event next time, you want to do this slightly quick. Instead of have to turn your camera around like this. Oh, okay. That is some good stuff to know, Grant. I really appreciate you helping me out with that. Anyways, any of the Subarus that are on this list, like I say, as long as you maintain them, they will last a long time. The Kia Rio, okay. Twisted R Racing has issued a challenge to burn out challenge a burnout for cancer in my behalf. That's very cool. Oh, that'd be really cool. I'd really appreciate that, Grant. Kia, this is just me personally. I don't think Kia and Hyundai has the quality to. Hey, Benny, thanks for jumping in. Appreciate it. Not saying you can't get a Kia up to 250,000 miles, but from my experience and what I see, at least up here in the Northeast, Kias and Hyundais just don't tend to last. Toyota Tundra, yeah, I could see that. Anything Toyota and Honda, I could definitely see in that 250,000 mile range. What else we got? Honda Accord, again, that's what I was saying. They've got good reliability. I've known lots of people that have gotten 200, 300,000 miles out of, something like an Accord. Toyota Camry, same deal. I think older cars are a little bit better in reliability. I don't know what about the newest Camrys, but Corolla, yeah. F-150. Yeah, well, I could see that again. I think it goes a lot to where in the country you're talking and how well they're maintained. Our biggest problem in the Northeast is rust, and a lot of times your vehicles rust out to the point where it's not feasible to fix them before they hit 250,000 miles unless you do a ton of driving. Silverados, same deal. Depending on where you are in the world, even in the country, yeah. Again, Toyota, not surprising. Honda, not surprising. That's the Honda Pilot. Honda Civic, yeah, I can definitely see that one as well, but now the F-150s are aluminum bodies, so that would help with the rust issue. Yep, that is definitely true. So, the newer ones, maybe you can, get better mileage out of them, but definitely older, pre-aluminum, yeah, not so much. Another Subaru, as long as you're keeping track of all of your maintenance. Acura, being that Acura is really a Honda in disguise, not terribly surprised. Toyota Sequoia, again. Honda CR-V. Buick LaCrosse. Okay, this one's going to surprise me. This one does surprise me. I do believe that the LaCrosse, quality-wise, has gotten better over the past 5 years. I have an older LaCrosse. It's it's a decent car, but I wouldn't say it's terribly reliable. I mean, we put a transmission into it at 87,000 miles. The engine has some questionable ticks that, from what I understand, is a timing chain issue. So, but newer ones, yeah, I'll give that to them. Another Honda, Toyota Avalon, Ford Expedition. Now, are they doing the Expeditions in aluminum, or is it just the trucks? That I don't know. Mazda 6, first Mazda on the list. And I think Mazda, since they shed Ford as a collaboration, I think their quality has gotten better. Audi Allroad. Yeah, but they're way expensive to fix when they do come around to needing it fixed. And the Nissan Altima. The newer Altimas, I can give that to you. All right, let's see what's last on the list. Kia Sorento. Again, no, I'm not so sure I believe that one. Maybe, I hope that Kia does prove me wrong, but on to our next story. 2020 Ford Mustang is getting an entry-level performance model. Let's get you focused on me. Hey. Okay, so Ford has just announced an entry-level performance 2020 Ford Mustang is on the way, but that's all the company said about it. Naturally, this is our speculation gears turning furiously, and we can safely assume that this Mustang won't be as powerful or as fast as a GT350 or 500, but it's hard to imagine Ford creating another derivative of a regular V8 Mustang, since the company already offers 2 levels of performance packages, plus the higher powered Bullet, to say nothing of the wide assortment of factory Ford performance parts available. That has us thinking that this must be be based on the 4-cylinder Mustang, which would put it up against the the Chevy Camaro 4-cylinder turbo, or even the V6. And let's see. Be neat to see something priced below the current performance package model that retails for just under $30,000. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I'm all for cheap performance if that's something that keeps it going. Hey, Pete, thanks for coming in. Hey, Will, thank you for stopping in too. I haven't forgotten about your shirt. It's just been money's really tight lately. I will get that out to you soon. Am I saving money up for the $200,000 Ghoul? No, I am not. If I had $200,000 to spend on a car, it's not going to be a Dodge Challenger. Is it a cool idea? Very cool. But for that kind of money, I'd rather buy 2 Demons on the used market. But anyways, that's just me. Okay, and another new piece of news out of Bugatti, believe it or not, is they are planning on releasing in 2023 an SUV to go up against Bentley and Rolls-Royce and all those other big guys, the Lamborghini Urus. And they're expecting it to have nearly 1,000 horsepower. Again, to those people who want a SUV Bugatti with 1,000 horsepower, more power to you. I'm not one of them. Let's see what they back into the chat for a minute. I really wish I could. This is Benny from Classic Ride Society. I wish I could have made the Charlotte Auto Fair this year. It's literally the biggest swap meets. Yeah. I'm all for swap meets, car shows. That's basically what I, spend most of my time doing when I, make videos. Very, very cool. And Grant, they killed the V6 a few years ago. EcoBoost 4. Yeah, Mustang killed the V6, but Camaro still, you can still get that with the 3.6 liter. and it still blows my mind because I had a 1986 Camaro with a V6, the 2.8 liter. That thing ran maybe 130 horsepower, and now you're looking at the Camaro V6. It's a 3.6 liter with well over 300 horsepower. Blows my mind. If money was not an issue, I would buy a third gen Camaro and put the 3.6 V6 in it, because you're going to be able to even beat the IROC Z's from the time, because those only had 180, 190 horsepower, maybe 200. But anyways, off subject. So would saying money's no option, would you guys ever think of buying a 1,000 horsepower crossover vehicle? Not me. And what we got? Pete. They have to do it to keep up with the weight. Yep. That's that makes sense. It's all about weight and keeping weight down so you can get the best gas mileage you can. But it's again, I'm all for horsepower. 1,000 horsepower in a SUV, not so much. Will R, I'm too environmentally conscious for that. Yeah. Now call me weird, but I do think that the Lamborghini Urus is interesting. I'm not sure how capable off-road it is, but I would be very interested to see a off-road version of that. I'm kind of a sucker for Lamborghinis. I would love to have one of those someday, but yeah, I'm old school. I'll take 1,000 horsepower in a car. Agreed, Benny. I think 1,000 horsepower, especially if it's something in like a classic car, dragster, that sort of stuff, I totally get it. If you've got it, 1,000 horsepower to go in a straight line, absolutely all day long. 1,000 horsepower that you won't ever be able to use on the road anywhere except for maybe Germany. And yeah, Will, you're absolutely right. Unfortunately, I am a gas guy. I do like gas. Electric is the future, and they do intrigue me as well because of the instant torque that you get out of an electric car. Hybrids definitely are going to be in the future, as more and more in the future as well. Even for, well, as we see right now, we have tons of not tons. We have a fair amount of hybrid supercars. I'm all for it, but again, where are you going to use all of that? Okay, what are we doing next? Oh, shoot. I think I got rid of one of my recall. See if I can go back and find that. Recall. Oh, yep. I did. All right. Recalls. And why did I pull that one up? Old school. I prefer a gas guzzling V8 in my classic ride. Yep. Gas guzzling new vehicles. Yeah, unless you're ultra, wealthy and you can afford that sort of stuff. Classic, old school, hot rod, muscle car sort of gas guzzling V8s. As long as there are people around that love the cars from the 60s, 70s, 50s, whatever. They'll be around for a while. All right, going into some recalls. This is from 3 days ago. Roadshow put out a story saying that Hyundai is recalling 16,500 Velocitors over stalling and fire concerns. I know that Jason's got a Velociter. I'm not sure what the year is for his, but you'll have to make sure we get this info to him. Computers are part of just about every major system in a new car. Yes, they are. And sometimes as seemingly minor as poorly calibrated software can lead to major problems. Hyundai is recalling 16,487 2013 Velocitors. All the affected vehicles contain Hyundai's 1.6-liter turbocharged i4, and they were built in Korea from April of 2012 through October 2013. Problem stems from engine management software. In the affected vehicles, the software might cause the air-fuel mixture in the cylinders to ignite at the wrong time. This could lead to increased cylinder pressure and have the potential to damage the engine. Ouch. So, not a good thing if you are an owner of a Velociter. Those are quite the, in my opinion, funky cars. Definitely unique styling. Deep down inside, I secretly like the looks of a Velociter. I don't mind the look of the car from the front, but something about the side, the profile view of the car doesn't do it for me. But I do know lots of people that absolutely love those things. All right, next up. This is actually old. Like I may have talked about this, but we'll talk about it again. Porsche is recalling cars and SUVs over brake and fuel leak. Porsche has issued 2 separate recalls for about 28,500 sedans. Okay. Panameras. I don't really call those sedans. Anyways, sports cars and SUVs because of concerns about brake warning lights and possible fuel leaks. One recall affects 2017 through 19 Cayenne and Panameras. Drivers may not be warned as expected when a brake pad is worn out, which could result in a crash. Well, I can tell you when a brake pad wears out. You hear a terrible amount of grinding from whatever spot the brake pad has gone. Yes, that means a whole lot more money you have to put into brake rotors, but I do believe that some drivers do have to have a little bit of common sense and not have to worry, rely on dummy lights all the time. Anyway. The other recall that Porsche has put out is for 14,388 Boxsters and Caymans. These are newer ones because they're being called the 718s, which I think they started calling those 718s a couple of years ago, maybe. So 2017, 18, 19, something like that. Here we go. Down here it gives a little bit more. 17 through 19 Boxsters and Caymans, all different varieties. Luggage compartment bracket could detach in a crash and possibly cause a fuel leak. So that's the 2 Porsche recalls. And Volkswagen has a recall. They're recalling Golf, Jetta, and Tiguan's for defective rear springs. 56,127 cars could suffer from an unexpected failure of the rear suspension springs. Defective manufacturing process from the supplier resulted in coil springs that are weaker than planned and may fracture prematurely. 2017 through 19 Golf sport wagons, Golf hatchbacks, Tiguan crossovers, and Jetta sedans. These cars were built for the U.S. market in their Puebla, Mexico plant. And springs definitely are something that are pretty important for vehicle control. So if you have one of those, you might want to get your car checked out. Let's hop over back into the chat, see what's going on over here. Pete at Camaro Times saying Santa Fe, Sonata, and Kia is having problems with headlights catching fire. That's interesting. There must be there's too much voltage in the headlights. 3 to 5K electric race cars. Yeah, electric race cars. I know that they have Formula E that's all electric, and that's new and upcoming for the Formula One enthusiasts. Let's see. Going to pipe engine sounds. I mean, if you're going to have an electric car, you should know that it's not going to make any noise. If you want engine noises, get yourself a gas-powered. Benny, I really like the Panamera. Yes, the Panameras, that's the one thing I can say I like about Porsche is, other than the SUVs, and even them kind of have the resemblance of the 911, but all of their cars have a very similar look, and that all stems from the 911. Their bread and butter, their the vehicle that they're best known for. The Panamera and the SUVs, I think they could use a bit of a different style, because the Panamera just looks like a kind of a bloated. Okay, well, thanks for stopping in. Have yourself a great rest of your night. I will definitely do a search for the Sonata, and we'll see what's going on there in a minute. It does look good, don't get me wrong, the Panamera, but it does look like a bloated 911. But hey, being able to cart 5 people around in a Porsche, pretty cool. And ooh, Jeep is teasing their Easter Jeep Safari concepts. Let's see what they're saying over at Jeep of what's going to be at the annual Easter Jeep Safari. And for anybody that does not know, the Easter Jeep Safari is held every year in Moab, Utah. It's a 9-day event. Excuse me. Trail riding, adventures, a whole bunch of kind of interesting. Basically, if you're a Jeeper, that's where you want to be around Easter time. Every year, Jeep comes out with a handful of concept vehicles. Some of them are as outrageous as Hellcat engined Jeep Wrangler to even restoring old Jeeps and putting like a newer engine and that sort of stuff in. It's very cool. I've watched a few videos over on the Motor Trend channel that have to do with that, and that is way cool. Yes. Trackhawk. Yes, the Trackhawk, when it comes to the Jeep Grand Cherokee, mind blown. To see a Hellcat engine sitting underneath the hood of Jeep Wrangler, that's a whole new mind blown. I know there's lots of companies out there that do conversions, putting the Hellcat engines into these Jeeps. I think who's the guy that works with Gas Monkey Garage a lot? Dennis Collins, I think his name is. His Jeep, I don't know if it's a dealership or whether it's he's an aftermarket thing. He sells a lot of Hellcat powered Wranglers. Yeah, no, not Aaron. Aaron, he does a lot of stuff with F100s, F-150, early F-150 trucks. I think he went off to do that on his own, mostly because there's not a lot of aftermarket support for the F-100s and F-150s from the 60s, 70s. He does some really cool stuff. That's what I thought, Benny. I thought it was an aftermarket thing, but either way, he has a small channel, not small, like 40,000 subscriber channel, where he will walk through and show what he's got in stock, what they're restoring, all that sort of stuff. He's got some really cool stuff down there. Old school Dodge. Oh, okay. Did not know that Aaron was doing that now. Cool. That more power to him. I think they got a good thing going on down there in Texas. Right, Benny? Okay. Back to the Jeep. What are they showing off? One vehicle that they've teased is a blue Jeep. And what we can see is the driver's side door, part of the hood. Behind it, door reveals that it's to be a Gladiator, not a Wrangler, built with a single cab. We're hoping for a short wheelbase Gladiator. That is something I think that would be super cool. I would love to see a two-door Gladiator. I think that is one thing that I miss in modern trucks is not being able to get a single cab, especially if you're a contractor or whatever. You don't need those extra seats for whatever reason. Having just a bed, way cool. The retro styled Jeep fender badge is accompanied by a J6 badge, which is a nod to the Jeep's J series pickups from the 70s. Those trucks were known alternatively as the J10, the J20, and the Gladiator. Cool. The other concept teased was a rendering in alternate shades of black, white, and highlighter yellow, and it is a Gladiator. Looks to be about every aftermarket Dodge Mopar option you can put on it. Looks like it's got a roll bar, big tires, big fender flares. Very cool. I cannot wait to see more pictures of what comes out of the Easter Jeep Safari. All right, what do we got? We got companies are way behind. I put a 572 in a Gremlin one time. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have catch any of the Motor Trend stuff now that they're on their own thing. Every once in a while, go over and sit through all the commercials and, go through a couple episodes of Roadkill or something like that. And they recently had a gremlin that someone put a 500 big block out of a caddy into the gremlin. That thing was far better than anybody expected, which was very interesting. Benny, who remembers another Jeep truck from back in the day? Yeah, Comanche, the J trucks, the Jeepster, not Jeepster, Willie's pickup truck. And if you want to get really far back, Willie Kaiser thing from the Scrambler's another good one. I love the Scramblers back in the day. And then I would also buy if I could find a clean Comanche, I'd buy a Comanche right now. Those are becoming harder and harder, especially in the Northeast, to find without a ton of rust. But my ultimate truck that I want is a crew cab, single axle Chevy pickup. I mean, not a dually, but a single tire axle Chevy square side. That is my ultimate dream truck. As a kid, we had a family friend. He had 2 or 3 at a time, sitting there. I love those square body crew cabs. Yes. Did they end up crushing the Comanche? Because if clean vehicles, it's very hard to find a clean Comanche, that's for sure. Car is putting a Hellcat in a Miata. Whoa. They crushed it. Oh. God, I need to make a ton of money and go to Texas and buy a bunch of these trucks or vehicles, because you find some really good stuff down there, Benny. Square bodies are very hot right now. They have been hot for the past few years, and again, finding something that is clean. This family that I talked about is the last I knew. They still had 2 or 3 of these crew cab square bodies, and from what my brother told me, they are super clean. I would sell a kidney. I would sell a lung. I would sell a child. No, I didn't mean that. I didn't realize there was a child out here to hear. No, very much. Love those square bodies. What else are we gonna do? I think that's gonna do it for news. I'm going to we'll talk about where things are on the channel, what I'm going to be doing coming up, and so we can get out of this rut of not a ton of videos, because I know if I want to grow, I got to start putting out more videos. All right, on Facebook, if it decides to come up, I'm currently sitting at 757 followers, which is super cool. I'd love to get some of these people over to YouTube, but talks with a lot of people. It seems like it's very hard to get people from Facebook over to YouTube, which is cool. More videos definitely does mean more subscribers. You are absolutely right, Will. So what's going to be happening over the next few weeks? This weekend, as I said early on in the video, the dealership that I work at as a service advisor, we are moving from our current location to a brand new building this weekend. So there will be no other videos this week. And being consistent is the other thing. Yep, absolutely. That's the thing. So this week, this coming week, the only other video I'll have out will be, next week's, I should say next week, not this. Next week, we should be, having just a live stream. But next weekend, my weekend, I currently am only a half day on Saturday and a full day off on Sunday. So Sunday, we've got a car show down in Connecticut that I'll be going to. So we'll have new videos in 2 weeks, featuring vehicles and that particular show. Actually, we've got three different car shows I could go to. I believe I'm going to go to the one in Connecticut. The following weekend, on Sunday, we're going to get into some autocross action. The SCCV's first event of the year will be at the Diamond Run Mall in Rutland, Vermont. So we'll be going to that. There's also a Cars and Coffee also on that Sunday. So I may do the Cars and Coffee first and hit the afternoon session of autocross. So that's probably, be some good videos coming up soon there. And then the following weekend, the weekend of the 27th, 28th, there are a couple of things going on. There will be another series coming from, I believe it's either Southern Massachusetts or Connecticut University has a car show. So we'll be going down there for that on the 28th. So we are getting into car season in the Northeast. We've got some good weather coming up. So I'm really looking forward to getting out there and starting to get some new videos out for everybody on the YouTubes. And so very, very, I think content is key. Absolutely. Cannot get up early enough for Cars and Coffee for the weekend. The Cars and Coffee that I was doing before I got this job last year was an hour and a half away. So that was getting up pretty early to drive to Burlington to do that Cars and Coffee. Unfortunately, those are on Saturdays, and so that's going to be some stuff that I will not be able to get to this year. All right, let's go over to YouTube and see where we're sitting as far as subs and everything here. I want to say thank you to everyone who's went and looked at the last video I did, the Quinton Brothers QB 760 unveiling. We had 50 views, which is a pretty good views for me, so that's awesome. And I really appreciate everybody taking the time to go over there and look that up. So we are currently sitting at 307 subscribers. So that is 2 over the past week that I got. And for not posting any videos, that's okay in my book. All right, so that's, oops, wrong window, Kronk. All right. I am at the auction on Saturday mornings. Yeah, cool. Public auction or a dealer type auction, Benny? Because I'll give you guys a couple stories of my auction dilemmas. One that my wife will laugh at once I start telling the story. And I can't remember if I've told you guys or not, but we'll go through it again. Huh?
You did.
I did?
Yep.
Oh.
Some people might not have heard it.
Well, I'll tell it again. Gremlin on the stairs behind me. Yeah, we have a total of 6 cats in this household. Did I want 6 cats? Not really, but they ended up being here. So
He loves his wife.
yes, I do love my wife. That is one of our middle-aged cats. That is our lone female, and she's very skittish, and I'm actually surprised to see her down here right now. But hey, cool. So anyways, car auction stories. Very first auction story, and I know you guys may have heard it, but I'm going to tell you again anyways. Yeah, Todd, I told Putty Tat. Yes, you did. So we got three grays that look almost identical. One's a lot smaller than the other. Then we've got a yellow and 2 gray tigers. And we also have a corgi, which he is in his crate at the moment, so he could be quiet for this live stream. First auction I ever went to, I thought I was doing really good. I looked at all the cars that I was interested in. Drove. Okay, I don't know about any auctions you guys go to, but I went to, you can drive it forward and backwards about, 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet, and that's it. You can start them, hear them. So did that on all these cars except for one. And that was a car that I bought. I bought it was a 1993 Volkswagen Jetta. It was the biggest piece of junk that I've ever owned. The car was beat, and I didn't know it, realize it until I got it back home. Started off, had no reverse. House vehicle to her cats, and my mom's now is being the cat's caregiver. Well, yep, a lot of people love their cats. I don't mind cats, but I would rather not have 6 of them. She's not out here. So the first issue with this Volkswagen, it had no reverse. Again, that was the only car I did not drive forward and backwards. I drove it for less than a week before huge chunks of catalytic converter started going out the tailpipe. Every shock, strut, spring were shot in this vehicle. I ended up owning it for about a month before I sold it to an instructor. And because this is when I was at doing my auto tech program, sold it to an instructor who was a big VW fan. He ended up rebuilding the engine, rebuilding the transmission, basically rebuilt the entire car. He drove it for 6 months before the transmission went again, and he ended up ditching that car too. Next vehicle that I bought at auction was a Chevy minivan. It had an exhaust manifold leak so bad that was not something I ended up being able to get inspected in the state of Vermont. Sold that thing off, lost money there. And I bought a Audi A6 Quattro wagon. Again, I don't know about your guys' auction, but our auction, if the title is not, if they do not have the title, people who own the vehicle have 14 days to get the title to them so they can get it to the new owner. 10 days, 2 business weeks. So I bought this car. It needed, had some issues, but nothing, too weird. Drove around, here and there, and then finally got a call on a Friday from the auction house saying, and this was 14 days. So, I could have at 10 days turned the car back into them, got all my money back, but didn't. They ended up calling me and saying the car had a branded title. I personally not a huge fan of buying a branded title car because you don't really know what you're getting. And they say, do you want it or what? And it's like, when's the next auction? I'm going to bring it back up. They said tomorrow. So drove back up, dropped the car off to be resold. I paid like $1,200 for this, $1,800 for this car. And when it sold again, when it went through, they only got about $700 for it because of the branded title. Then I bought a Volvo 960 sedan. That was probably the best car that I ever bought at auction to date, but not bad. I'm sorry, Benny. I didn't see what you. I would stay away from Audi. Too darn hard to work on. Absolutely, and very expensive. I bought that with the thoughts of flipping it. Is branded title a bonded title? A branded title would be a rebuilt car. Basically, it's anything other than a clear title. So rebuilt, salvage, flooded. I'm not sure what bonded is for you. So that's what in Vermont, anyways, is what we deal with. So it was in an accident at some point, and then whoever rebuilt it. And yeah, when they go through the auction, you may not know. It'll say that it's a branded title, but you don't know what's been done to it, whether it was a flood car, whether it was rebuilt. They can't sell a salvage car. It's got to be, have at least a rebuilt title. Anyways, the Audi at the when I first saw it, it was in good enough condition that I had planned on fixing it and flipping it. But again, not very many people want to own a, bond over here is when the previous owner doesn't have the title. No. Here in Vermont, any car over 15 years old doesn't have to have a title. Anything else, you have to apply to get a title reissued. You basically have to prove that it's, you own the car and give the state a certain amount of money, and they'll, send you a new title. It's a hassle. Choosy moms choose Jeff. Well, optimistically cynical. Thanks for stopping by. And have a good rest of your night. You have to get a bonded title for 3 years. That is interesting. So if you don't, the previous owner doesn't have the title. Well, basically, it has to have a bonded title for 3 years in case it's a stolen vehicle. Texas to not have to require a title after 15 years. Yeah, I mean, in this state, it's great. It's also kind of, you might think it's kind of sketchy because Zelda, it had a Massachusetts title. I didn't even walk in with that title. I just walked in with a paper saying, I bought it from so-and-so, couple signatures, and they just give you the registration for the vehicle and out you go. It saves you something like $40, when you have a car that's that old. On the downside, because this is Vermont and the Northeast, it's hard to find a 15-year-old car that is worth putting back on the road. Again, the amount of salt and other chemicals they put on our roads in the winter just absolutely destroy vehicles. But this car was, Zelda was a Maine vehicle before it went to Massachusetts, and it spent a year in Massachusetts before coming here. And this past winter, she sat, so she didn't get any sort of salt on her this year. And as I think I've said before in the last video of the, yes, bond title is in case the old owner comes forward. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I dodged a bullet with Zelda, as you guys, who've watched that video know. I got to do a lot better this year. Of course, I need to, save up money for a new radiator. I've got to get the exhaust on, which will go from a single exhaust to true duals, which will make that car sound pretty nice. Need to have the money and the lift to be able to do that. What other things have I got planned for Zelda? She probably is going to need some suspension, front suspension work. Airbags still are working, but tie rod, ball joints, I'm thinking that's going to need to be done. Tires, I'd love to get some new rims for it, but I don't think that's going to happen at any time this year. What else? Hey, Kip, a lot of know where I could get a Yanko side stripe. I don't know off the top of my head where you can get a Yanko side stripe, but I kind of think that searching online, you could probably find something, or you can find the older stuff, but not something that'll work on the 5th gen. No, don't worry about it. Not hijacking right now. We're kind of in a, lull. I don't have any more news, so we're just kind of throwing things out there. Yeah, no, I'm not sure where you can. I don't know if Benny knows either. I think we're going to take a few more minutes to just kind of chat, because we've gone over an hour here, and then we're going to call it a night. Just looking for something to fit on my car. And I had a little touch. Yeah. The Yanko stripes are definitely sweet, and I think they'd look really good on your 5th gen. Yeah, I would say probably, if you haven't looked on eBay, there might be, I don't know if there's some specialty guys out there that would make them for you, but if they did that, it'd probably be pretty darn pricey. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody that stuck out for the hour. I appreciate the time and the chat. Have you guys a great rest of your night. Everyone likes the hockey sticks. Yeah. No, I think that the Yanko, is a much better style, especially would be, look a lot better on your 5th gen. And everyone have a great weekend. As I said, next week will be another live stream. And then after that, we're going to start getting into some really good videos. And yeah, take care, everybody.